You're watching the Western Athletic Conference on ESPN+. Cloudy skies in Abilene, Texas today on a Friday afternoon. The UTRGV Vaqueros versus the ACU Wildcats. And ACU, someone who is kind of winding down that career, kind of in his final two starts. As you take a look at the defensive lineup for the Wildcats, 7, 8, 9, Ladisaw, Borjo, and Rook. In the infield, D'Alessio, Payne, Greer, Williams. And then the battery, of course, Maddox, Misi, and Austin Glaze. Misi, of course, the normal backstop for the Wildcats. Taking a look here at Austin Glaze, taking another look at those numbers. I mean, you look at 2023 to now, that is a veteran pitcher who found his stuff in the offseason.
Yes, Glaze, his numbers don't really tell the story of how good he's been pitching recently. Against SFA and UC Davis in back-to-back starts, he went 7 innings without giving up a run. And then after that, they played a really good Cal Baptist team that's second in the WAC. He got dinged up a little bit, 5 innings, 6 runs. But then he answered back against Utah Tech, 6 innings, 2 runs, a good quality start there. So 3 really good starts in his past 4 starts. So we'll see if he can keep that hot streak rolling and kind of put the team on his back a little bit. I know Coach McCarty would love being able to save his bullpen a little bit more for these next 2 games of these important conference days.
Yeah, and like you said, kind of this guy coming onto the mound, he can be off and on, and that's important to think about. He's someone that can be off and on, and you allow him to do that because when he's on, he's really on. For the umpiring team today, Jared Higdon over at third base. Jet Mitten will be the first base umpire, and calling the balls and strikes behind home plate will be Cole Lump. Getting ready to go here, and first batter stepping in will be Cade York, the shortstop for UTRGV out of Mesa, Arizona. York this year batting .265 as he gets set to go.
A speedy presence on the base paths. He is 8 for 10 on steals over attempts. Most steals on his team.
Austin Glaze winds and deals, and the first strike is in the books for Austin Glaze today. We're glad you're with us.
Austin Glaze gassed him up right there. That was 94 on the radar gun in the stadium.
Glaze starting fast, second pitch in there for a strike. Called strike for number 2. Cade York, the senior, transfer out of Yavapai College. Waits on the 0-2 there, a good take for him. And the 1-2 pitch from Glaze is high.
Glaze really relying on that fastball to get ahead of hitters all season long, and he's keeping with that trend right now.
Try at the 2-2. Off the end of the bat and hit out to right field. That one is fair and down for a hit. Rounding first is York. He's headed to second. The throw in will not be in time, and York slides in safely. He leads off the ball game for the Vaqueros with a double.
Great at bat there by York. He saw a pitch he liked outside on the plate, breaking ball, and he poked the bat out there and took it the other way for 2 bases.
Yeah, Holden Rook was playing more in towards center field. Didn't really get a good beat on it until he saw it land. So runner on second now for UTRGV. Easton Mumau stepping in now. Mumau this season batting .233, 43 at-bats for him. Batting here the top half of this order. Runner already in scoring position.
Mumau, the freshman out of El Paso, Texas.
You know, something that stands out to me, you got York on second already. You talked about he's got a bit of speed in his legs. You see a strike there from Austin Glaze. And the count's 1-1.
Yes, good steal opportunity for the Vaqueros. Get him on third with less than 2 outs. That's a great sac fly opportunity.
Austin Glaze deals that one in there for called strike. 1-2 now the count.
Nice curveball there by Glaze. Opposite-handed batter on the other side and broke it in for the front door, called strike.
Yeah, and he's been using that all year. It's been a really solid pitch for him. 1-2 pitch from Glaze. Up the middle, it's a base hit. That one rolls out into center field. Reese Borjo is there and retrieves it. That's going to send York over to third, and runners on the corners now with nobody out here in the first inning for the Vaqueros.
Great hit by Mumau. That line drive froze York. He started retreating back to second base, and that's why he was unable to score there. It always had the threat of being caught, so he didn't get a great jump off of that ball. One that would usually score someone with 2 outs.
So a lazy single up the center puts runners on the corner for Martin Vasquez.
And this guy can rake. 15 home runs, 44 RBIs on the year. He's been at this program 1 year, and he's already 13th in their history in home runs. So a big threat for crooked number on the board for the Wildcats.
First pitch to Vasquez, gets under it and pops it up on the right side. Williams does not have a beat on it, and that one flies out and foul.
I'm interested in seeing Glaze's pitching approach here. Probably doesn't want to throw fastball to the big man.
Vasquez this season leads the Vaqueros in home runs, RBIs, total bases, and slugging, batting .684 with that slugging percentage. Incredible number this season for him. That one's high for ball 1. Mumau, only 2 stolen bases this season for him. He's over at first. York over at third, of course. Nobody out here in the top of the first inning. Sun's starting to come out just a little bit. It's going to raise the heat just a hair. 1-1 pitch from Austin Glaze. That one is shot up the middle, another base hit, and that's going to be an RBI. Rounding second and headed to third is Mumau, and there will be runners continuing to be on the corner as another one shoots up the gap in center field, and an RBI for Vasquez.
That was 3 breaking balls on 3 pitches there to Vasquez from Glaze. And Glaze is not pitching bad here. The Vaqueros just putting the bat on the ball and putting it out in the outfield.
Something ACU likes to do a little bit too, so a little small ball early on, send the next man up type of mentality happening here. Steven Lancia now the batter for the Vaqueros. Lancia, the junior out of San Diego, California. Currently second in the WAC in batting average. Pitch from Austin Glaze, that one popped up on the right side, and it's going to roll out foul. So 1 run already on the board here in this ball game. It's a big deal. You really want to score early in these games. We've seen it all season in the WAC.
And another great chance to score here. A guy with a .389 average up with a runner in scoring position, no outs.
Lancia bats .360 when runners are in scoring position. .390 with runners on base. .974 OPS for the backstop. The 0-2 from Austin Glaze inside for ball 1.
Good slider there. He almost offered at it.
Long pause from Austin Glaze and another 1-2 here. That one is hit hard out into left field. Going back is Miller Ladisaw. He's got a beat on it. Mumau will tag at third. There will be no attempt to throw home, and Mumau's going to score easily. And the sac fly for Steven Lancia puts a second run on the board for the Vaqueros. So now they lead 2-0.
And this Vaqueros team can really slug. They have 44 home runs compared to the Wildcats' 27 as a team this season. And it's not like they're playing in Colorado or a place where it's particularly easy to hit home runs. They're playing in Edinburgh, Texas, near sea level. So they've got to hit the ball hard down there.
Armani Raygoza, the designated hitter. Raygoza batting .270 this season, .856 OPS for him also. Another high OPS as he gets under that one and shoots it out into center field. Reese Borjo is on it. He is there for the second out of the inning. 2 away now. Victor Raygoza flies out to center field for C.J. Valdez. Valdez stepping in now, batting .322 in the lower half of this order. That's a big number for somebody batting lower in the order. Valdez, the grad student out of Chandler, Arizona, transfer from Purdue. Sees the first pitch from Austin Glaze, and that one bounces in for ball 1.
Glaze really relying on his breaking balls early in this one, coming from a guy that threw 94 the first 2 pitches. That's surprising.
Valdez batting .342 with runners on base. Watches one curve in there for a strike. A really good comeback pitch there for Austin Glaze. Evens the count up at 1 apiece. One and one now the count. The pitch from Glaze. That one swung on and missed. A good pitch from Austin Glaze low in the zone. Gets the second strike on the board. Now Austin Glaze, after giving up those 2 runs, is now 1 strike away from getting out of this inning. Kicks and deals the pitch. On the corner, called a ball. Glaze starting to move off the mound. That one a close call there, and it'll be ball 2.
That is a really tough take right there. That 1-2 slider breaking away from the hitter. He wanted to offer at it, but was able to hold up.
Pitch from Glaze. That one is in there for a called 3rd strike. Austin Glaze gets him looking, but 2 runs for the Vaqueros is the difference. We're going to the bottom of the 1st on ESPN+. Welcome back, Abilene, Texas, UTRGV and Abilene Christian here at Crutcher Scott Field. Coy Osler and Trey Newhouse here in the bottom of the 1st, where the Vaqueros have stepped out and taken a big lead here, 2-0 here early on, as we see Zach Chalman, the senior out of Austin, Texas. And we talked about this, Trey, in the 1st inning. Chalman this year, .329 ERA. You compare that to that .533 last season. Well, there's not a real comparison to be made there. That was out of the bullpen. This year, he's looked incredible in those long starts. And the first pitch from Chalman is outside for ball 1 to Miller Ladisaw, the left fielder for the Wildcats. Ladisaw, preseason all-conference selection in the WAC. 5th in the WAC and runs 6th in batting average and 3rd in doubles. Big numbers for him this year. Everyone expected to see that for him, and batting leadoff now as he watches the second pitch from Chalman, and that one is in there for a strike.
Yes, it's always great to have a good lefty batter you can rely on and put at the top of the lineup.
For the Vaqueros, Rodriguez in left, Janner in center field, and Warren in right. Bumau third base, York shortstop, Valdez, and Vasquez is the infield. Steven Lancey at the backstop for the Vaqueros, and as we've said, Zach Chalman on the mound for UTRGV. Chalman waits, deals the 2-1. Grooves that one up the middle for a strike, a really good pitch right there. You got a guy in Miller Ladisaw who takes really patient at bats. He doesn't like to pick the bat off his shoulder too often. When he does, though, it puts numbers up, as we've talked about already. As he gets under that one, drives it out to right field, going back at the track, at the wall. Goodbye, home run, Miller Ladisaw. Making a statement early on, just a handful of pitches in, he hits number 7, and it's jacked out into right field. ACU's cut the lead in half.
That is a really good swing on that ball, an inside pitch that is sometimes hard to get the hands around and generate power off of, but he was able to square it up and drive it over the bullpen, out of the ballpark.
What a shot there from Miller Ladisaw. I mean, that one was not a wall scraper by any means. It took its time getting out to that ACU bullpen. Miller Ladisaw with some fireworks. I was just bragging about how he'd been doing this season. 14-game hitting streak he entered into this ball game with. Let's knock that one up to 15. Ben Greer now the batter, chops one over to first, and it will be called foul. Martin Vasquez was there at first base and tried to make a tap on the bag, that is, and did not get it. Back to Ladisaw real quick. He's up to an 18-game on-base streak. Also, you should take a look at this one again. He couldn't get the ball in shot, but first base umpire Jet Mitten says that one is foul, and Greer's going to do it again. Ben Greer this season batting .276, someone who's kind of found his way into this ACU lineup now to the top of it, getting limited appearances earlier in the season, solidified his spot in the lineup, and now finds himself batting 2-hole for ACU.
He's a speedy switch hitter, and that's the kind of bat you need at the top of the lineup.
Gets under this one now. Ben Greer sits that one out left center field, and it's gone right center field. A home run for Ben Greer. Back-to-back jacks for ACU. Miller Ladisaw, now Ben Greer. Ben Greer, that's number 2 this year for the second baseman.
Wow, we have ourselves a tie ball game already. A lot of offense being played in this first inning. Back-to-back jacks from the first 2 batters for the Wildcats.
You said it. Skipper Derek Matlock coming out now to talk to his pitcher. So you take a look at Ben Greer taking a jog around the bags. 8 pitches for the Wildcats to tie this up, and we hadn't gotten a chance to talk about this. Zach Chalman does not give up a lot of home runs. Entered the game giving up 6. Has given up 2 in just 8 pitches now. And ACU has tied it, and Trey, we can talk about it all day. ACU, the top of that order for them is pretty deadly.
Yes, the top of this Wildcat lineup has been deadly all year long. And here comes another guy who's batted .377 and has 8 home runs himself. So maybe we'll see a little bit of back-to-back-to-back action. Unlikely, but who knows?
Well, and you talk about that as Gino D'Alessio steps in. This has been the story of ACU this year, I would say, is this batter right here. D'Alessio watches one inside, and quickly 0-2 now the count. D'Alessio this year leads the WAC in RBI, 4th in batting average, and 3rd in hits. Transfer out of Quincy University. First year in a Wildcat uniform, and he swings at that one and misses it, and Zach Chalman's got him a strikeout. Looks like a good use of a mound visit there for Derek Matlock, the skipper, and Chalman's got one down.
I think one of the keys to the Wildcat lineup is they have a lefty and a switch hitter back-to-back against a righty pitcher, and Chalman not performing so great against lefties this year, and that continues.
Here's Garrett Williams. Williams missed a couple games last month, finding himself back in the orders now. Played against Utah Tech, and here he is now batting against UTRGV as he gets under that one and fouls it on to the right side. Williams this year batting .285. Another one of these guys who's very familiar with this program. He's been here quite a while. He's a senior out of Grand Prairie, transfer from Midley College, which is kind of a good house of junior college players, as that one goes out into center field. And what a beat, what a catch, Evan Janner. Center field, sticks his glove out there and makes the catch. Evan Janner, you got to feel good about yourself after one like that, Trey.
Yes, he went for the home run robbery earlier, just missed his glove, and he helps his pitcher out right there. Off the bat, I thought that was a double, maybe a triple in the gap, but he's able to get there and make a really nice play on the ball.
Janner coming in. Man, what a bead he had on that. I tell you what, and this one now by Borjo is back out into center field and will fall in. So the 2 home runs for ACU back-to-back, but after that, Zach Chalman says, I don't think so. Shuts him down 3 in a row. We're headed to the second inning on ESPN+. Tie ball game, Abilene Christian University on a Friday afternoon. Trey Newhouse and Coy Oslin. Well, Trey, we've seen it already. Take a look here real quick at the UTRGV lineup. York, Mumau, Vasquez, Lantia, Raygoza, Valdez, Rodriguez, Warren, and Janner. We already saw them bat pretty aggressively through Valdez. Rodriguez is going to lead off the inning here as he steps in. As we watch Austin Glaze get ready to deal. And that one is popped up to short, or left field, pardon me. I thought there was a beat at short, but Ladisaw's there in left field for the quick first out. Trey, we talked about this. ACU super aggressive in that last inning. Last time, multiple home runs given up by Zach Chalman. March 30th versus Utah Tech. He gave up 3 home runs in Utah.
Yes, Abilene Christian, usually not the super aggressive team. They usually just like to string hits together and create their runs that way. But today they are really swinging the bat well and looking to pull fly balls. And that's whenever you pull fly balls is when you get the ball over the fence. So we saw 2 home runs on the first 2 batters, a strikeout on 3 hard swings there from D'Alessio, and then 2 more pulled fly balls to center field. So a very aggressive approach from Wildcat batters.
Here's Hank Warren now, the batter. Watches that one outside for a ball. Warren out of Pollock, Texas, Hudson High School. Transferred from Northeast Texas Community College. Found his way to the Vaqueros, batting here lower in the order as he watches that one inside for a ball. Warren this season, 276 batting average, 744 the OPS for him. Consistent starter for them, finds himself in this lineup quite often. Watches the pitch there from Glaze, and that one is outside, and it will be a walk.
That'll be his 11th walk of the year and bumps up his on-base percentage of .358.
So after the walk, it's going to be Evan Janner stepping in now, who we saw make an absolute stellar play in center field earlier.
Yes, and he's just a freshman. While batting .167 in his 8 games played, he has an on-base percentage of .423. So not a great batting average, but a really impressive on-base percentage from the young kid.
See Austin Glaze come out there with an aggressive first pitch. Janner got that .979 OPS in just 18 at-bats this year. Already made good use of his centers. He swings at that one for strike 2. Started the game at 81 degrees. We're up to 83 as the sun's starting to continue to poke out. Oh-2 pitch, and Glaze is going to look over to first. And Warren will return back to the bag. Janner awaiting the pitch now. And the 0-2. That one's in there. Backwards K in the book. Second out of the inning for Austin Glaze. Gets one looking, and Janner goes down swinging. Strikeout number 66, pardon me, on the season for Austin Glaze.
Really nice curveball there from Glaze. Janner just stood in there, watched it, and it froze him. Strike 3.
Second strikeout of the day for Glaze. Another one looking. 2 outs now in the inning, and we head back to the top of the lineup as see Glaze throw back over to first. Cade York stepping in now. He doubled to lead off this ball game and came around and ultimately scored. So 1 for 1 on the day for him. Long pause from Austin Glaze. And the pitch. That one popped up to center field, it looks like. Gonna drift way over to right field, and Holden Rook will be there to make the play. So nothing exciting for UTRGV this time around. Austin Glaze gets 3 outs on 4 batters as we're headed to the bottom of the 2nd inning on ESPN+. Welcome back to Abilene, Texas, downtown Abilene. You're looking at, but we're here at Crutcher Scott Field, where we're knotted up to a piece, taking a look at ACU's bench there. In the lineup for the Wildcats, Ladislaw Greer, D'Alessio, Williams, and Borjo. And then Misi, Payne, Staley, and Rook will see for sure in this inning, Misi, Payne, and Staley. Zach Chalman on the mound, giving up those 2 home runs. He looked pretty stellar. The batter right now is Maddox Misi, batting .237 this season. Someone, Trey, who has really come up lately for ACU and has kind of found that swing he had last year.
Yes, he had a really good freshman year last year, kind of slowed down a little bit, but finds a spot every day behind the dish for the Wildcats.
He could play really anywhere too, though. If he's not behind the dish, he might find himself over at third. Really good player for Rick McCartney, someone who's got a really bright future in this program. Already working a 3-0 count now against Shulman. and it will be a walk. So Maddox Misi gets on with the walk. Take a look at this one. Just high and inside.
Maddox got out of the box quick there. He wanted to get down to first after that ball four.
Both these pitchers right now, Trey, I've noticed they're working with great speed. They're really trying to get through these innings. Runner on first now. Zant Payne stepping in. Payne, who usually finds himself in the top of this order for ACU, fakes bunt and looks back. Payne, however, the numbers no slouch by any means. 729 OPS, 269 batting average this season for ACU's shortstop. Out of Edmond, Oklahoma, transfer from Dodge City Community College. Payne shows bunt again, and that one will be in there for a strike, knotted up at 1-1. Misi on first. One stolen base for him this year in one attempt. Payne clearly showing bunt here. Rick McCarty likes to use that small ball. That one bounces down and back.
Back in there, babe. Let's go.
Long pause, and here we go again. Payne waits. And Chalman deals. Swing and a miss on that one. And it's a strikeout of Zant Payne. Zach Chalman gets him his second strikeout of the day.
That's always a risk whenever you try to bunt with a man on first. It increases your risk of strikeout.
And it's been that high risk, high reward type of deal for Rick McCarty since he's come here. He's been one of these coaches that he'll do whatever he can to get a run to cross. He's used those bunts very well. We've seen a couple innings this season where he's done a great job. Chalman going to throw back over to first, and retreating in time will be Reese Borho. Didn't get to talk a lot about Reese Borho either. Career high was 10, now 11 on base streak for him. Still trying to keep his hitting streak of 7 games going. Another great player for ACU. Pitch there to Staley. He shoots that one out into left field. Going back is Damian Rodriguez. He dives and misses it, and that one drops for a hit. Borho rounding third. He's going to come home to score. Staley coming in, slides at third. He is safe. There will be no throw over to third. A triple for Aaron Staley after the misplay by Damian Rodriguez in left field. And ACU leads the ball game 3-2.
That was going to be a really tough play for Rodriguez. He got a good beat on it, but may have lost it in the sun, or maybe he just missed it, as that ball results in 3 bases and a run for the Wildcats. Wildcats take the 3-2 lead.
Rodriguez made a dive for it, Trey, and I wasn't sure if it came off of him or if it was just a plain miss. And it scored a triple for sure, though, as see a bunt attempt there from Holden Rook. Reese Borho, or pardon me, that was Maddox Misi, excuse me. Maddox Misi came around and scored, of course, after that walk. Staley now on third base. Interesting turn of events there as that one fouled straight back and over the press box for a long strike 2.
On that first strike, it looked like they were going to try the squeeze play with Rook with good speed.
And well, with one out, an awkward swing there and a strikeout. What a pitch there from Zach Chalman. Squeezed the batter, Holden Rook. He couldn't even get a bat on the ball. And a strikeout number 3 on the day for Zach Chalman. What a great pitch. All right, back to the top of the order. Miller Ladisaw stepping in now, of course, had that leadoff home run for ACU in the first. 1 of 2. Pitch in there for a strike to Ladisaw.
Miller Ladisaw bats .356 with runners in scoring position and .318 with 2 outs, so always a threat.
Really favorable splits for him as he's very quickly out in the count 0-2. I talked about it a little bit right before he hit that ball. Ladisaw very patient with his at-bats. 0-2 pitch, that one high and away for ball 1. Chalman working very quickly for an inning that's already got a run on the board. This has been a very quick and efficient inning for Chalman.
Let's go,
See Aaron Staley over at third base. The pitch is fouled off, and defensive swings coming now from Miller Ladisaw.
A veteran approach. Ladisaw, the senior, he took a pitch that was outside on 2 strikes, and then he fights one off that would have been a called strike 3.
Chalman now with the 1-2 pitch. Got him swinging. Zach Chalman gives up the run on the awkward triple out into left field. However, 3 strikeouts for the Vaqueros pitcher. ACU leads 3-2. Stick with us on ESPN+. Welcome back to Abilene Christian University. Pardon me. Top of the 3rd inning, in Coy Ostlund, Trey Newhouse here. Trey, they've been moving fast. This has been a very quick and efficient ball game from both sides. As you see Austin Glaze back on the mound. Glaze looked really comfortable in that 2nd inning. He's kind of found his stride here.
Yes, and Glaze has always loved to work fast. And whenever the game is moving this fast, 3 innings and just about 40 minutes, it usually means that it's a defensive fest. I don't know, but
yeah. No, I know exactly what you mean.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
But there's been a lot of offense in this game. Wildcats lead 3-2. 5 runs already across the plate in 3 innings.
Well, and you talk about getting runs across the board. Here's Easton Mumau now, the 2nd hole hitter for the Vaqueros. He's had quite a game already. He's got that single, came around and scored back in the 1st inning as he chops one over on the right side. That one bouncing foul. We said Mumau this season, 44 at-bats for him. Just a very small selection here. Getting a start here in the top half of this order for the Vaqueros, that's a pretty big deal for him. Looked like it's been a solid call from head coach Derek Matlock as that one is down low and inside.
Yes, the Vaqueros have 3 freshmen in the lineup today, and 2 of them aren't everyday starters. So really interesting approach from the Vaqueros today.
Gets under that one and drives it out into right field. And that one is off the wall. It bounces. I didn't even get a look at that one, Trey. Kind of tricked us up here in the press box. That one is down for a base hit into right field. Rook was there. And Easton Mumau already with 2 hits in the ball game.
Really hard hit ball there by Mumau. Almost too hard hit. It hit off the wall, and Rook played it really well. Read where it was bouncing and holds him to a single.
So good read there from Holden Rook out in right field, and now you're starting to get back into the hard part of that order for UTRGV. Martin Vasquez now the batter.
And this dude is dangerous. Redshirt junior out of Monterrey, Mexico. Played at Alvin Community College.
Pitch is in there for a ball. We said earlier, Vasquez leads the team in home runs, RBIs, total bases, and slugging. First baseman for the Vaqueros. Gets under that one, and it bounces out into left field for a base hit. So the top of this order, Trey, continues to slash Austin Glaze. Another base hit there, and it looked like they're having a really solid game right now.
Yes, he just saw that ball all the way. You could not have thrown it out in a better place. A nice line drive base hit there from the first baseman.
So 2 outs now with nobody away. Steven Lancia, the batter, coming in. Lancia had that sac fly in the first that got the 2nd run on the board for the Vaqueros. Austin Glaze deals the pitch and showed bunt, but nothing cooking there. This is a UTRGV team that scored 37 runs in their series win over SFA last weekend in Edinburgh. 1-0 pitch. Bounces in there for ball 2.
Glaze is sticking with that slider to right-handed hitters. Breaks down and away. Hard to hit.
Trying to mix his pitches up here a little bit. Already 41 pitches into this ball game. That one is low, and it'll be a 3-0 count now to Lancia. Raygoza, the batter, on deck. Austin Glaze waits the 3-0. That one is high for ball 4, and the bases will now be loaded for UTRGV. A huge walk there for Steven Lancia, 24th walk of the season for him. And, well, bases juiced now and starting to get back into that part of the order that Austin Glaze actually pitched pretty solid against in the second inning.
Yes, the second run through the lineup. The hitter has seen the pitcher before, and it's a little easier to hit as here comes head coach Rick McCarty to talk to Glaze.
Conversation going to happen here. Nobody in the bullpen. This is just going to be a conversation here. Whereas Austin Glaze can get out of a situation like this. He's done it before. We talked about a graduate student here at ACU. He's seen it all in his time. Raygoza, the batter, on deck, like we said, 0 for 1 in the ball game. Flew out to left field in the in the first inning. That is, pardon me.
Yes, Glaze has worked himself into a little bit of a jam here. Bases loaded, no outs. 1-run lead. But he is a veteran, and the helpful thing that comes with having a veteran on the mound is they've seen these situations, as you said, and he's worked out of them before. So let's see if he can do it again here.
Yeah, and you talk about that as Rick McCarty departs. We've talked about McCarty a couple times. 6th season at ACU, 161 and 126 for him in his record at ACU. That's second all-time in wins in just 6 seasons. Took this team 35 and 24 last season. And they are sitting pretty good as they get late into the year with 2 conference series remaining. They've won 6 series this season, only lost the one to Cal Baptist in Abilene. Put them at 14 and 7 in conference play. All right, bases loaded now. Austin Glaze deals the first pitch, and that one is outside for ball 1. Location problems has been the story, I guess, this inning for Austin Glaze.
Interesting curveball call there, trying to steal the strike with a curve on the first pitch.
When you talk about this, trying to steal something, you trade a double play for a run right here anytime. Pitch from Glaze. Oh, that one fooled him. What a pitch there from Austin Glaze, low and inside.
That is a really good breaking ball from Glaze. Whenever you see a batter miss by that much, you know it's a really good pitch.
Raygoza, the batter, 375 average with bases loaded this season. Pitch to him, he gets under that one and chops it foul. Austin Glaze finds himself now in a very favorable pitch count, or pardon me, count here. 1 and 2 now.
Yes, this is a spot where you can throw a ball in the dirt, try to bait a chase out of the hitter, get a strikeout, get yourself 1 pitch away from getting out of the inning.
Got a very comfortable backstop in Maddox Meese. The pitch here, that one is in there for a called 3rd strike. Austin Glaze gets a batter looking here. 3rd strikeout of the day for Austin Glaze, his 3rd looking strikeout also. And the first down of the inning is a huge one.
Really good pitch there. Watched it all the way into the catcher's mitt. Never even thought about swinging.
1 out now for Austin Glaze as C.J. Valdez steps in. Valdez, only 1 at bat today. Watches the first pitch here and gets under that one and tattoos it foul. He saw that pitch but was just on it just a little too early there, Trey.
Yes, he was a little bit ahead of the breaking ball, but he was really on that one. Lined it up out of the park, but foul.
Valdez, as I was saying, 0 for 1 on the day. Got caught looking, so the optical strikeout for him is the only one, the only at bat for him today. Pitch here gets under that one and crushes it out into left center field. Looks like the wind's going to give an assist to ACU. There will be a tag at 3rd, and the throw will come into 3rd, but the run will score. That's Mumau. And now UTRGV has tied it 3 apiece on a sac fly from C.J. Valdez.
Yes, Valdez did his job right there. He pulled the fly ball and put it out deep enough that it drives in a run. Maybe if the wind was blowing the other way, that one would have carried and he would have had himself 4 RBIs right there. But luckily for the Wildcats, it's working in their favor today.
Well, the way that one came off of the bat, Trey, I really did think it was going to have it, but the wind kind of moving all over the place out there, but no matter what, blowing in. Damian Rodriguez, the batter, watches one outside for strike one. Good play, though, for Reese Borho, getting that ball back in time to hold the runners at first and second. That keeps that force play in case you need it for any reason here with 2 outs. Austin Glaze's pitch is inside, and it'll be a ball. And Rodriguez dancing a little bit there. 1-1 now the count, bases loaded, 2 outs. Austin Glaze can get out of here with just the 1 run. This would be huge. 1-1 pitch. Another one off, and that'll be ball 2. We've seen it this whole inning. He's just had some control problems. Can't get the calls he wants. Glaze waits the 2-1, the pitch. Bounces in there, it'll be a 3-1 count now.
He's just not putting the breaking balls close enough to the zone to get chases out of the batters.
Hank Warren on deck, he's walked in this ball game. 3-1 pitch to Rodriguez. And that one's inside again. Glaze tried to find that location once again and cannot get it. It looked like there were a couple pitches he was trying to work that inside lower edge.
He was really living inside, missed all 4 pitches inside and low for Glaze. Interesting spot to miss, and with different kind of pitches too. He threw a slider in there that missed, and he threw his fastball, missed in the same spot as his slider. So now gets himself in another jam he has to work out of. Austin
Glaze entered the inning with 36 pitches. He's up to 59 as that one almost brought in an RBI there, as that one got up and inside on Hank Warren. Warren, 276 average this season. The splits for him, bases loaded, batting .429. Dangerous, dangerous hitter. We said 0 for 0 today, got that walk in the second inning. The pitch here to Warren is low for ball 2, pardon me. Rodriguez on first, Lancey on second, Vasquez over at third. 2 outs here in the inning. And the pitch from Austin Glaze. He's in there for a strike. That's a good comeback pitch there, Trey.
Yes, he found his control right there and blew the fastball by him. He has lost a few ticks of velocity off of his fastball, but that just comes with throwing near 50 pitches for Glaze.
That one in there for a strike. Another good pitch from Austin Glaze. Now 1 strike away from getting out of the bases loaded jam with just the 1 run. Warren, not a power hitter. 3 home runs this season for him, 24 RBI. Long pause from Glaze and deals. That one bounces in there, and it's going to be a full count now.
That was a burn pitch from Glaze. Throw the slider down and away. Try to get the chase.
Tough call to make there with Hank Warren. He's been very patient today. The pitch to Warren. They're on the move, and that one's up the gap and into center field. 1 run's going to score. Here comes a second run. 2-run score on the single for Hank Warren up the middle. The hit and run works for the Vaqueros. They lead 5-3 in Abilene, Texas.
Yes, well, just a very fortunate play and a really good deal of hitting from Hank Warren on a 3-2 count with 2 outs. Something's got to happen pretty much. So it'll either be a strikeout in the inning or a walk, and the run will get home. So all of the runners able to go inconsequentially, and probably would have only scored 1 if the runner would not have been moving from second to third whenever the ball was hit.
Just not been the start Austin Glaze wanted, but UTRGV, their offense is still rolling after that series I talked about versus SFA. Evan Janner, the batter now.
And the Wildcats have had problems with securing the first games of conference series.
That's been a big deal for them this season. They've won 6 series, but they've lost the first game of, I believe it's 5 of those series. That pitch is inside, and it'll be ball 1. Janner struck out looking in the second inning, 0 for 1 today.
So a great deal of resilience in these Wildcats, but not a skill of starting off hot.
Big strike there for Austin Glaze. That was well and away. That was one of those throwaway pitches you talk about right there, but got the swing from Evan Janner, and now 1-2 the count now for Glaze. Finds himself one more strike away from getting out of this inning. It's been a deadly inning for UTRGV. 3 runs, 5 batters on base. Pitch as runner goes. The throw over to second will not be in time. There's going to be a throw home to get the runner scoring. They got him. What a relay from second base back to Misi at first. ACU gets the steal attempt of home, and the double steal ends the inning. But UTRGV, 3 runs in the inning for the Vaqueros. They lead 5-3. We're headed to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Stick with us. Welcome back to Abilene, Texas. Ben Greer stepping in for the Wildcats. 1 for 1 in the ballgame for him. He had that home run in the first. UTRGV leads 5-3. Coy Osler and Trey Newhouse here at the crutch. In what has been an explosive ballgame early on. 5 runs for the Vaqueros, 3 for ACU. 2 long balls for ACU. And Trey, we saw the end of that inning right there. UTRGV goes for the double steal, and a good read at second ends the inning.
Yes, well, with runners on the corners.
That one snagged up center field. It got over the glove and heads out into center field. And Ben Greer's got him a 2-for-2 day over the glove of Cade York at short.
Nice hit up the middle right there. Well, as we saw in that last inning, the Vaqueros had runners on the corner. And right before the at-bat, Maddox Macy went out and did some signals like you see a third base coach do. And when doing that, he's pretty much telling the infield, if the runner on first goes, here's what we're going to do. And I guess the signal was throw it to second, then throw it right back home. And it paid off, got the out at home.
Absolutely. Gino D'Alessio stepping in now. Strikeout in the first for him, the big slugger for ACU. He's had him a heck of a year. Pitch that one up the middle, and that one is fielded by York. Over to second for 1, on to first, and that one is a wild throw into the dugout. A crazy throw there at second, and D'Alessio's going to be on. Cade York, CJ Valdez, that was the second baseman after the flip from York.
A really great diving snag behind second base there for York, but Valdez, I don't know what happened. Maybe Greer was sliding into second base a little hard, but he rushed the throw and threw it at the Wildcat dugout.
Talking a little bit more about that strategy ACU had, as D'Alessio, of course, advances to second on that one as that one was thrown out of play. Garrett Williams, the batter, and he fouls that one on the right side. Thinking about that a little bit more, Trey, though. Great play at shortstop for Zant Payne there. He didn't even attempt to tag it second. He immediately threw home. And
yes, I think that was part of the strategy. He even stepped up a couple steps. He was
well in front of that second base bag.
He was just a pace or two behind the pitcher's mound. He cut off that throw and then didn't even look back, just went right back to Maddox Macy. Baited the runner in third into going home and got the out at home.
0-2 the count to Garrett Williams. Williams struck out in the first. The 0-2 pitch is off the pitcher. Chalman running over to get it. Is he going to be there in time? The flip over will be in time. What a play. 1-3 for Zach Chalman. He gets it out, but the runner advances to third.
Yeah, really good play right there by Chalman. Sticking with the play and getting Garrett Williams. Garrett Williams is a fast runner, and he was moving down that first baseline with some pace. So great job by Chalman playing the ball off his foot and getting the flip for the out. The runner advances to third on the play, though.
So 1-3 will be the put out on that one. Reese Borho stepping in now. First pitch to him is high for ball 1. Borho flew out to center field in the first inning. Talked about this a little bit, had my scorebook mixed up. The Pitch to Borjo is outside for a ball. We're going to take a look at this replay really quickly of this very solid play from Zach Chalman. Ooh, that's as close as it gets.
That is a bang-bang play. The old adage, the tie goes to the runner. I guess the umpire did not think it was a tie.
Jet Minton, the first base umpire, gonna make a tough call on that one. Talked about Reese a little bit. 10-game on-base streak for him, 7-game hit streak. Those are both career highs for him. I had my scorebook mixed up in the first. I was referring to Maddox Misi when I first spoke about that, but Borjo is 0 for 1 today, still trying to continue that streak.
Reese Borjo, a really cool story. A freshman hometown kid from just a couple miles away from Abilene Christian walked on, and as a true freshman, he really worked his way into the lineup. He did it through his really good center field and other spots in the outfield defense, and he also gets on base.
Yeah, had a walk-off single about a month back as he gets under that one and shoots it out into center field. Play will be made very easily for Evan Janner in center field, and the movement over to third makes no difference. Quick inning for Zach Chalman. The Vaqueros lead 5-3. Stick with us on ESPN. In between inning games going on here in Abilene, Texas. The Vaqueros lead 5-3. And that's tricky. That is always hard to do right after you spin on a bat like that. These kids look like they had pretty good balance. Vaqueros lead 5-3. Austin Glaze returning to the mound. Talked about that lead, and Austin Glaze now. Pretty tough inning last time around for him. You're through the hard part, though, of that inning being the one that you always fear having as a pitcher. Evan Janner will be the batter for the Vaqueros. Did not finish his at-bat. Of course, there was the caught stealing at home by ACU. As that one is popped up by Janner. Payne at short thought he had a read on it. Ladisaw coming in now makes the snag for the first out of the inning.
With the exclusion of the Cal Baptist game on April 19th, this is the most earned runs Austin Glaze has given up in a game since March 22nd against Sacramento State.
You see the pop up here one more time. Yeah, and you talked about that a little bit. You've got a guy that is very comfortable on the mound, and he's going to have those off days. We talked about that in the open, but he has those off days every now and then, but doesn't let it eat him up too much. He usually has a good comeback game. You see Cade York stepping in now. York 1 for 2 on the day today. Had a double all the way back in the first inning.
And Glaze, for the most part, has been a consistent Friday night starter for this Wildcat squad, and he's been giving them what they need.
That one popped out into left field again. There's going to be a couple guys converging, and that one's going to drop for a base hit. Bit of confusion there in shallow left field between Payne and Ladisaw, and that one drops for a base hit. Runner on first now for the Vaqueros.
That one's just in no-man land. You have two players diving for it, and it's almost directly in between both of them.
Hard to make a call on those, of course. You don't want to hit anybody, but tough play to make. So York reaches on that, and here's Easton Mumau. He's 2 for 2 on the day. 2 singles for him. He's looked pretty solid in this ballgame, Trey.
Yes, he has. Interesting thing about Glaze, he has been working with some efficiency today. He gets on the mound, and by the time the pitch clock starts, he usually is getting into his windup by whenever it starts at 20, by whenever it's at 13 or 12.
I'll say this about Austin Glaze. I've always noticed this. He is someone that he doesn't have one consistent pace throughout the game. He really does mix that pace up. There's a lot of guys that will go out like a thunderbolt, that one thrown back over to first, and go straight through. And then there's some guys that'll slow, and then there's guys that'll go back and forth. For Glaze, he's one of those guys that goes back and forth. He can take his pitches when he needs to. He can hold his breath when he needs to. 0-1 the count now. And the pitch to Mumau is hit on the ground and through. It's a base hit. Runners are going to be on first and second. Ethan Mumau, what a What a game, Easton Mumau, pardon me. What a game he's had. 3 singles in the ball game for him.
Yes, really great day from the freshman. That one, it was just a hanging curve out over the plate, and he drove it opposite field. Glaze is lucky he wasn't able to turn on that because that's could do some damage.
Martin Vasquez now the batter for the Vaqueros. The damage doer here for UTRGV, batting in that 3-hole.
You do not want to hang one to this guy.
Yeah. 2 singles in the ball game for him, leads the team in home runs. Gets under that one. Popped up on the left side. That one floating way, way, way foul. Had a heck of a swing on it, Trey. For a minute, we thought that was going to be a problem. The wind caught it, though, and that one went straight up and straight down.
A little display of power out of play, but that was probably the highest pop-up we've seen all day. And he put a really good swing on that thing.
Ton of power in his bat, 688 slugging percentage. I've talked about that earlier on. Vasquez waits the pitch, and Glaze deals. That one popped up on the right side. Williams now moving over, and that one is going to float foul. And 2 really long strikes here for Austin Glaze.
The stat that stands out to me for him is the 15 home runs. He is 3rd in UTRGV history in single-season home runs. He's 6 behind the record already, and it's his first year playing for the Vaqueros. So who knows what he's capable of.
1-2 now the count. The long pause and deals to Vasquez. The runner goes. That one shot out in center field. The hit and run was on. That one coming in and is going to drop for a base hit. And the runners are going to stay on second and third. Reese Boro was coming in, and we saw Reese coming in very slowly there for a minute. It looked like it held the runners up kind of slowly. York hesitated in between second and third. And now runners on second and or bases loaded, pardon me, here with 1 out in the inning.
And a 3-hit day for Vasquez, too. And also, that ball hanging up there and Borjo looking like he had a play on it, that kind of negated the hit and run. The runners were standing, starting to go back to their previous bases, but they're able to reach the next base safely.
Conversation going on now. It looks like we may have a pitcher coming into the ball game. Not the start Austin Glaze wanted. See head coach Rick McCarty having a conversation now. He keeps looking over to that bullpen. Gonna see what his pitcher says, and Rick's gonna send a call over to the bullpen. So, runners all over the bases. Austin Glaze is gonna depart here. We're gonna have us a new pitcher here in just 1 moment. So, stick with us. We'll tell you all about him here in just a minute. Welcome back to Abilene, Texas. We got us a new pitcher, Caden Grenay, the junior out of Denton, Texas. Trey, what do you know about him?
He has a 2.83 ERA with 28 Ks and 10 walks, and he's had some really good outings lately. Against TCU on April 16th, he went 3 innings of 1 hit, no run ball with 4 Ks against the Horned Frogs. And then against Cal Baptist, another really good team, he went 1.2 with 1 hit and no runs. So he's had some really quality outings in relief as of late.
Yeah, and Caden Grenay this season, we've seen some 3 innings work from him 3 times this year. That's kind of his top cap is 3 innings. Of course, it's all based on how many pitches he throws. Right now, Caden Grenay this season, though, you talk about those numbers, 28 strikeouts to just a couple of walks in 10 of those. 28 to 10 the ratio. Bases loaded now in what has been a tight situation. But this ballgame not exactly away from the Wildcats, of course. It feels like they've got them on the ropes right now, but ACU going to the bullpen for an arm here, and one that's been pretty solid as of late. First pitch from Grenay is in there for a strike. Stephen Lancia, the batter, he walked, came around and scored in the 3rd inning. What was that, Trey? Pardon me.
At this point in the game, 1 swing for the Vaqueros could bust it open and put it out of reach for the Wildcats, but 1 pitch, you get 2 outs, keep it within 2 for the inning.
Lancia gets under that one, sends it out into left field. Ladisaw's back and makes a snag. There will be a tag at third. York coming in. He's going to score. That'll hold the runners, though, at first and second. So you trade the out for the run and the sack fly for Steven Lancia. His second sack fly of the ball game gets another run on the board for the Vaqueros.
I've always said that sack flies are just smart hitting. It's knowing what to do in what situation. And the Wildcats are really good at hitting sack flies, but Lancia has two himself this game.
So UTRGV leads by 3 now. Runners on first and second. Grenay's pitch there is fouled off by Armani Regoza. Regoza in this ball game 0 for 2. Struck out looking in the third and flew out to left field back in the first inning. Vasquez on first, Mumau on second. And the pitch. Grenay's pitch is shot into center field. It's going to be a base hit. Mumau getting waved home. He's on his wheels. He's coming home, and there will be no throw at all. Runners on first and third now, and a big RBI for Armani Regoza, the designated hitter.
Those 2 runs are Glaze's responsibility, so those will go on Glaze's ERA and earned run stats, not the new pitchers.
So another one of those little singles up the center. We've seen quite a few of these today.
Yes, they're just putting the bat on the ball and putting it where the hitters aren't. And they're also just stringing hits together. 4 hits this inning. They have 10 hits total and only 3 left on base.
So just 2 on now. Pitch from Grenay is high for a ball 1 to CJ Valdez. Valdez a sac fly in the third inning and a strikeout looking in the first. Man, the top of this order has done deadly things today. We've talked about it. 8 hits for the top of that order, those first 3 batters, and a big swing and a miss there from Valdez. 10 hits on the day for UTRGV, 8 of those coming out of those first 3 batters of York, Mumau, and Vasquez. Vasquez still on the bags over at third. Regoza at first. Grenay's pitch in the 1-0 is popped foul, and it'll be a 1-2 count. Four-run lead now for the Vaqueros, and the pitch, the 1-2, bounces outside. There's going to be a steal attempt here, but a good throw from Maddox Misi is in time. They're going to pickle him in, and Regoza will get caught. A short jump from Regoza, Trey, ends the inning. They catch one stealing, but UTRGV, 2 more runs they tack onto their lead. We're headed to the bottom of the 4th. Stick with us on ESPN+. Welcome back to Abilene, Texas. Maddox Misi stepping into bat in what has been a 7-3 ball game. And UTRGV's looked great. Quay Osler and Trey Newhouse. Trey, this game, I mean, it looked like Zach Chalman didn't bring his stuff, but I mean, he's looked great the past few innings. UTRGV's offense has absolutely given him a hand up as Maddox Misi gets under one and drives it out into right center field. A lot of movement out there as players collide. There was a catch made, and we're going to take a check here on Evan Janner, who took a hard hit out in center field off of Hank Warren, the right fielder. Let's take a peek here at this. Oh, man, that's a tough hit.
That is a tough hit, and that's just
a
tough play. Both players closing on it really hard. Both of them think they have a play on it. Someone's got to call the other off, and thank goodness both of them are all right.
Cole Lump, the home plate umpire, kind of keeping everyone for just a minute, let Janner get himself together. That's one of those that rattles you. It's not going to keep you down, but it's going to rattle you just a little bit. Zant Payne, the batter now. Shows bunt again. We saw him do that a lot in that first at-bat he had in the second inning, ended up striking out.
On another note, the range that these Vaquero outfielders are covering has been a lot today. They've been going all over the field to make those tough running catches.
Pitch there to Payne is inside for a ball.
I think we've seen 4 or 5 of those fly balls in the gap that either Janner or Warren has made a nice play on.
Rodriguez is put a lot of effort into some plays also out in left field. He's made a couple, but also had that one that looked a little tricky there, a little fly ball into left from Aaron Staley that ended up being a triple. Payne gets under that one and shoots it, and it's going to roll out into right field for a base hit. That's something ACU needed. Zant Payne gets on base with a single.
Zant Payne has some speed on the base paths. He has 9 steal attempts for the year. And a nice deal of hitting there. Hits a chopper between first and second for the base hit.
So Payne on first now, and getting back to Aaron Staley, who had that triple back in the second inning. It feels like it was forever ago. UTRGV's made a lot of the tops of these innings. First pitch to Staley is in there for a strike from Zach Chalman. So far, Chalman through 3 1/3 innings, 6 hits for him, 3 earned runs, 1 walk and 4 strikeouts. He gave up those 2 home runs, but after that, he's looked great. Pitch to Staley, swing and a miss. And Aaron Staley's down in the hole very quickly, 0-2.
And I am a little bit surprised that they ruled Staley's triple an actual triple instead of a single with an error or double with an error because of that play by Rodriguez in left field.
Pitch to Staley is in there. He got him looking. Zach Chalman, strikeout number 5. Another one looking, and his stuff's looking really good for him today. 2 outs now in the inning for Holden Rook. Rook struck out in the second, 0 for 1 also. The Woodlands, Texas, awaits the pitch from Chalman. Chalman finds one he likes and deals, and that one hit out into right field, but snagged at first. What a play at first base for Martin Vasquez. He can bat and he can field. Innings over, nothing for ACU as we're going to take a look at this. It's a 7-3 ball game. Stick with us. Welcome back to Abilene, Texas. Taking a look there at the administration building, oldest building on campus. Very pretty, always has been. In what has been a 7-3 ball game, UTRGV has really busted out of the gates here. Trey Newhouse, and it's been quite exciting otherwise. Very quick-paced ball game.
Yeah, it's very quick-paced. These pitchers are working with efficiency.
Renee's pitch is popped out into right field, going back at the track, at the wall. He bounces off the wall. That's Holden Rook out in right field, and Valdez will be a very long first out here in the inning.
Yeah, he got a hold of that one. Took it the other way. Almost an opposite field homer to right field. But it will result in a very long out. Warning track right there.
Wind did not assist that one. The wind blowing in more towards first base. Now it's changed quite a bit. Renee's pitch is in there for a strike.
Yeah, as you can see in those flags in left center field, they're waving a little bit more than they were at the start of the game. More of a consistent breeze than we were seeing earlier, as there's a check swing.
So 1-1 count now. Rodriguez, 0 for 1 on the day, at a walk, got all the way over to third before being out, and he offers at that one, and it's 1-2 now.
Nice breaking ball there.
UTRGV, this offense, as that one is thrown back over to first. They've looked kind of solid today. They've carried a lot of momentum from that SFA series for that second out right there. They've looked really good. I was looking down at the stat book here. They've carried a lot of momentum, and you can see it in their statistics as you take a look at this one. Good call there. Maddox Misi gets that strikeout scooped and thrown over to first.
Another check swing. Called a ball there. Getting a lot of check swing this inning. That's the second or third one just this inning.
But pardon me, though, as I was saying, UTRGV, I was taking a look at their scorebook as that strikeout was happening. they've kind of gone back and forth all season. They can win a game and carry that momentum for quite a bit. After winning a big series like SFA, they're going to carry that momentum for some time, and here they are. That offense is still cooking. 2-0 now the count to Warren.
Yes, they have some dangerous bats in this lineup, and this team can really score when they need to.
That pitch is down in there for a strike. 3-1 now the count for Grenay. Grenay this season, we talked about just the 10 walks for him. Now working on that 3-1 count with 2 outs. And that pitch will be in there for a strike. Warren thought it was a ball, and it would have been ball 4 with Evan Janner on deck, but it is called a strike, and it'll be a full count now for Caden Grenay. This would be first 3-batter inning if he can, and that one is ball 4, and they will continue the inning.
Just looking at the offensive stat team comparison between the Wildcats and the Vaqueros lead in batting average, on base percentage, slugging, home runs, RBIs, fielding percentage, and a lot of other categories. So this is a really good Vaqueros team compared to the 3rd place in the WAC, Abilene Christian Wildcats.
Yeah. Evan Janner now the batter. He's had some pretty quick at-bats. I'm going to say this really quickly. Evan Janner in that series versus SFA in Game 2, first career hit for him, inside the park home run. He gets hit there and will take his base. Runners are going to be on first and second now. Was trying to highlight that for Janner multiple times. That's a heck of an accomplishment for a young man. Take a look at it here. Was going for it just inside. That's a stinger right there, you can tell. So runners on first and second now. We're back to that deadly top of the order for UTRGV.
This top of the order has been killing the Wildcats all day long. 8 hits for them.
That one goes past Grenay's glove, fielded by Greer at first though, and on to Williams for the 4-3 put out. Nothing cooking for UTRGV to get on. It's still 7-3 here in Abilene. We're headed to the bottom of the 5th inning. Going back to Abilene, Texas, 7-3, UTRGV leads ACU. Coy Oslin and Trey Newhouse here at Crutcher Scott Field. And Trey, before we go any further, Austin Glaze, the starting pitcher for ACU, went 3 1/3 innings. You're going to close the book for him.
Yeah, Austin Glaze, the Wildcats' Friday night starter, went 3.1 innings, gave up 9 hits, 7 earned runs, only 1 extra base hit given up on the day, 72 total pitches. There's a hit right there.
Yeah.
And 21 batters faced with 3 strikeouts for Glaze.
Yeah, Miller Ladisaw gets him his second hit of the ball game, a little floater out into center field, and Miller's on for the 2nd time today. Very quick at bat there, another one. Zach Chalman, the pitcher for UTRGV, 4 innings pitched, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 runs total. 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, a triple, and 2 home runs. Only 58 pitches in. Pitch there to Ben Greer is in for a strike. Ben Greer has himself a 2-hit game, had that home run after Miller Ladisaw's in the 1st inning and a single back in the 3rd, but UTRGV has had answers since that 1st inning. Pitch from Chalman popped up on the left side. Rodriguez is going to look at it, but going to stop short of it as that one is well and out of play.
Wildcats need to get something going soon if they want to stay competitive in this game.
In ACU scores, it's kind of like in little ruptures. They do it together. A lot of teamwork goes into it as Greer fouls another one off to the left side. And a competitive at-bat with some defensive swings happening now.
They just need to keep the assembly line moving. Keep batter after batter coming up and just work their way through the lineup.
0-2 count now. Ben Greer watches one get thrown back over to first. Four-run ball game right now. Not too far out of reach. ACU's lineup can do it. They've got the offensive power. But Zach Chalman's had it all in him. First pitch, or pardon me, fourth pitch is fouled off, and it's going to stay 0-2.
Competitive at bat here from Greer, fouling off 3 pitches and staying alive.
We have not had a 1-2-3 inning in this entire ball game on either side. Both these offenses really trying to find a groove here. Ben Greer gets under that one, pops it up on the left side. Easton Mumau is going to be there to make the snag, and there will be 1 out in the inning. Take a look at it. And Ben Greer knew it. He didn't get it fouled off just enough. We talked about those defensive swings. They are part of the strategy of the game, and he knew it off the bat. That one wasn't going to be fun.
Yeah, I don't really think he liked the pitch. I don't think he wanted to put it in a playable area, but it pops up and just stays out of the Vaqueros dugout. And Mumau's able to make a play on it.
Well, here's been a big part of this approach from Zach Chalman today, has been shutting down this guy, Gino D'Alessio, the star hitter, you could say, of ACU. Of course, wouldn't be the type of guy to admit it, offers at that one, and he's down in the hole 0-2. He's 0 for 2 on the day today. He reached, or pardon me, 0 for 1. He reached on an error in the 3rd inning and struck out in the 1st, but no fireworks from him like everyone's used to seeing. 8 home runs on the year for him. The pitch from Chalman, that one bounces in, and Ladisall is going to return back to first. 1 out here in the inning. Talking about D'Alessio this season, 31 game on base streak he had for a while there, and it finally got shut down against Cal Baptist. It was a tough series for ACU, kind of a late season wake-up call series. The pitch, that one is outside, and it will be a 2-2 count.
That's a good take there from D'Alessio. 90-mile-an-hour fastball just outside of the plate. Tough take, but a good one.
Really adjusted to playing in the whack very well, very fast. Chalman gets the pitch he wants and deals, and a little tough swing over to third and fielded cleanly onto second for 1. There will be no throw onto first, and Easton Mumau makes a good play on an awkward swing from Gino D'Alessio. Gets the out at second, and D'Alessio is going to hang out on first.
Those bouncing balls on this turf with a metal bat, it just comes off so hot, and it's so hard to double those up because they're usually high choppers. That while they're in the air, it gives the runners a lot of time to get down the line, and they usually turn into a fielder's choice.
Here's Garrett Williams. He watches one inside for a ball. Williams this season, I haven't had a chance to talk about this, second in the whack and runs. He's missed quite a few games. Type of guy that gets on and scores, but right now they need him to bring one in. D'Alessio over on first after the fielder's choice. Pitch from Chalman is tattooed foul. A little bit of movement from Hank Warren in right field, but he's not going to offer it that one. It'll be a long first strike. Long wait here from Zach Chalman. He's starting to slow down just a little bit. And that one shot over to second. A good field, though, and over to first from C.J. Valdez. The 4-3 put out ends the inning. Nothing for ACU. 2 runners on base. But a quick inning from Zach Chalman. 7-3, the Vaqueros lead. Stick with us. Welcome back to Abilene, Texas, the beautiful campus of Abilene Christian University. Here in what is a college town through and through, and we've got college baseball Saturday afternoon in Abilene, Texas. 1 of 2 WAC games going on right now. Caden Grenade back on the mound. That one bounces away for ball 1 to Easton Mumau. Mumau, who I called Ethan earlier. I feel bad about that steal, but he's had a heck of a day. 3 for 3 for him, 3 singles. Come around and scored each time. Top of this lineup has been great, Trey.
Yes, the top of this lineup has been killer for the Vaqueros. They've been torching the Wildcats. One really surprising stat is that the Vaqueros, on these 7 runs, they only have 1 extra base hit. And it was that double that came in the first inning, and they haven't had one since then. They've been scoring their runs other ways just by stringing together hits.
Yeah, you talk about that. This top of this lineup, I talked about it. 8 hits for them out of the 10 for the Vaqueros. 3-1 count. Now, I talked about it for a minute. Their second WAC game going on today is in Arlington. Sac State at UTA. Sacramento State leading 1-0 as that one shot over to short and fielded by Zant Payne and on to first for the quick out. They've retired Easton Mumau for the first time.
This has got to be a good feeling to get Mumau out, who's one of the hottest players on this roster right now. He's 3 for 3 until just then.
Martin Vasquez stepping in now. Talked about him. He's had him a good day too. First pitch to him is fouled off to the left side. 3 singles for him also. An RBI to add to his total. He's had a stellar year on those RBIs. Could rant and rave about him all day.
He's had a stellar year in a lot of factors. About every statistic, he's just killing it. 342 batting average in his 40 games played, 15 home runs, 44 RBIs, 106 total bases.
Grenay's 1-1 pitch, high for a ball, 1 out in the inning. Grenay, we talked about it, has not gone further than 3 innings in a ball game this season. He's gone 2 so far. Got to figure this will be his last inning of work. There are some arms moving around a little bit in ACU's bullpen, nothing dramatic yet. Pitch from Grenay is fouled off to the left side.
I think the most stunning statistic of Vasquez is his OPS, which is on base plus slugging, is over 1 or over 1,000 as you say it, which is just elite.
And in there for a ball, a good take there. It's going to be a full count now with Stephen Lancey on deck. Lancey's got 2 sac flies in this ball game and a walk that came around and scored. Has yet to take an official at bat in this one. Pitch, that one popped up and fouled back. Pardon me, plate appearance, not at bat. Full count now. Battle going on here between Martin Vasquez and Caden Grenay. Grenay's 3-2 pitch is high and a good take for Vasquez. Gets him on base for the 4th time today.
Has not gotten out yet in this contest.
Stephen Lancey is stepping in now. I talked about it. Has not taken a plate appearance in this ball game. 0 for 0, but hey, 2 sac flies for him, 2 RBIs in the book, and a walk. He comes around and scores. He's been padding his stat book, that is, through 5 innings today. Pitch to Lancey, a high for ball 1. Expect to see Grenay wear down just a little bit here in this inning. Like we said, only just a handful of 3 innings outings this season as he watches one go over the plate for a strike there at 1-1.
The Wildcats have their bullpen up and working. Looks like a left-hander out there.
Bit of strategy there as that one's popped up into right field. Retreating back and going further back is Holden Rook. He is there in time. Holden Rook had to really get on his horse for that one, as it had a jolt under it. 2 outs now in the inning with Martin Vasquez hanging over at first.
Nice swing on that ball. Poked it out deep into the outfield. These Vaqueros, all of their flyouts have been warning track. No home runs have came yet, but you gotta feel they're close because they put these Wildcat outfielders on notice a few times.
You talk about that, and here's Armani Raygoza, who started out 0 for 2, but ended up coming around and getting that single in the 4th inning. That was an RBI single. Raygoza this year is having a good season, 272 batting in that DH role today. 851 OPS for him. Pitch to Raygoza, shot out into left field. There's a lot of movement over there. Payne's on a horse trying to get to it, and he is there in time. Good read there for Zant Payne, and the 1, 2, 3, 4 inning gets 3 outs. Good outing for Caden Grenay. Stick with us. We're headed to the bottom of the 6th. Welcome back to Abilene, Texas. UTRGV leads 7-3 here at Crutcher, Scott Field, Coy Osland, Trey Newhouse. Game 1 of a 3-game set. Tomorrow at 3:05, we're going to have a ball game here on ESPN Plus, and then on Sunday, 12:05. Or actually, pardon me, both days are going to be moved to 1. I'm being told right now. Change is happening during the ball game. Seeing an at-bat being worked here by Reese Borho. Borho today 0 for 2. Trying to find some stride here. Pardon me, Trey.
You know, and conceivably, this is nice
what
play
a
over
snag
there.
at first, over to the pitcher and in time for the always lovely to see 3-1 put out.
Yeah, beautiful play over there by Vasquez. But conceivably, this could be one of the last matchups between UTRGV and Abilene Christian for a while. UTRGV leads the baseball series 9-8 in their historical matchups, but UTRGV is leaving the WAC after this year.
Yeah.
So it could be one of their last times seeing those orange hats and uniforms for a little bit.
Major announcement here. That's a strike. Yeah, that was a major deal earlier this season when the rumble started about that. Pitch here. Big swing and a miss there for Maddox Misi. Misi today a walk and a fly out. 0 for 0 on him, or 0 for 1, pardon me, on the day. Both these teams, you got to thinking WAC tournament though. See the pitch here from Chalman is outside for a ball. ACU eliminated UTRGV last year from the WAC tournament. They lost back-to-back games to GCU and then ACU. ACU won that game 8-2 to eliminate the Vaqueros. The pitch here to Misi is hit on a rope out to right field. Going over, there will be no play. That one bounces, and a long run for Hank Warren will be for naught. ACU also ended up getting out of the WAC tournament after a 17-10 shootout against Sam Houston, who has left the WAC also. Sam Houston, of course, over in Conference USA. That one shot foul. Been very impressed this season. WAC baseball has been very competitive. These teams all look great. How about a team like GCU who's leading the conference, CBU who looks good. Of course, ACU and Tarleton up in the top half of that group. Pitch here to Misi is inside, and he struck him out looking. Another big strikeout for Zach Chalman. Number 6 on the day for him. He looks great.
Good walk there from Macy.
Chalman entered the game second in the WAC in strikeouts. He entered with 64 strikeouts this season. He's up to 72 away from tying Connor Matson of GCU for strikeouts. Matson's worked a whole lot less innings, though, than Chalman. Chalman's got, at this point, about 18 innings more on Matson from GCU. So notable changes happening in the WAC statistics hanging out there. Chalman's pitch here outside for a ball to Zant Payne. Payne in this ball game had a single in the 4th. He came around and scored. Or pardon me. Another one of those scorebook deals. Scoring in pin, you're not supposed to do it. Shot over to second base, 4-3, and a quick inning for Zach Chalman. 7-3, they lead. We're headed to the 7th inning. What a game for UTRGV. Stick with us. Dot race, Abilene, Texas. You want to talk about a lead here. Look at this guy go. Speeding through the outfield. Blue Dot had it. Then Red comes over. I mean, man alive, what a comeback win right there.
Kid's got wheels.
Yeah. Sign him up, pinch run.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. All right. 7th inning here in Abilene, Texas, top of the 7th. UTRGV leads 7-3, and what we've seen, I guess the story of this game, Trey, has been Zach Chalman on the mound for UTRGV, and also for UTRGV, it's been the top half of that order. They have been nothing short of perfect at the top of that order, being Cade York, Easton Mumau, and Martin Vasquez. It'll be Valdez, Rodriguez, and Warren this inning for UTRGV, as there is a new pitcher on the mound for ACU. That's number 15, Dash Albus, the local product of Abilene, Texas, by way of Temple College. Finds his way into the ball game now in a tight spot, really. We talked about it. Caden Grenay, that was going to be his last inning no matter what. He does not go much further than that, and when he does that, though, he does great. He did that in this ball game.
Yep, Dash has pitched 19.2 innings, with the last one coming in the Wildcats' loss against BYU. He's given up 21 earned runs and 7 home runs so far this season.
To this pitch, that one popped up. D'Alessio giving a peek at it, but that one's rolling back behind, and Williams sees it, gets a beat on it, and makes the snag. Maddox Misi runs about 100 feet over from first base and makes a snag.
Wow, that ball was just staying up in the air. I want to know the physics behind that, because it was drifting right, and then it stopped, drifted back left a little bit, and then came back down right where Williams was there to make a nice play on it.
Damian Rodriguez is going to be the batter now. Rodriguez in this ball game 0 for 2, had a walk in the third. Close the book on Kane Grenay real quick. 2 2/3 innings for him, 1 hit, 2 walks, and 1 strikeout for the relief pitcher for ACU. Comes in and saves the day after a tough outing for Austin Glaze, like we talked about. But as we talked about in our open, Austin Glaze can bounce around a bit. He'll have a bad outing, and then he can respond with 2 solid outings. That pitch there is outside for ball 1, 1-1 the count.
Not too concerning of an outing there from Glaze. He's proven he can have an outing like that, then come back and have a 7-inning shutout.
There's a roper out into right field, a good piece of hitting. That one's going to make Rook move all the way into the pocket, and there's a double for Damian Rodriguez. First hit of the ball game for him.
Rook's been getting a lot of work out there in right field. He's been having to go and make plays to try to keep him to singles, but that one's in a spot where if you keep him from a triple, you did your job.
So Rodriguez on second now. Third double of the season for Rodriguez. All right, Hank Warren stepping in now. Warren in this ball game, 2 pairs of walks. That was in the second and fifth, and then a single in the third. 2 RBIs that was on that single. Been a big part of this ball game for the Vaqueros. Pitch now from Albus, outside for a ball. Working with 1 out in this inning, Rodriguez on second after the double. Bottom half of this order's been solid too. I guess you could say 1 through 9, they've done a great job today. Went high for a ball. Head coach Derek Matlock's got to be liking this. 7th-year head coach for the Vaqueros, 184 and 155 the record for him. Kind of coached a little bit of everywhere in his time in the state of Texas. So we await the pitch here from Albus. That one is popped out. It looks like it's going to be dangerous, and it is. It drops down in front of Rook. Rook's going to have a good rebound, though, and is going to hold Rodriguez over at third. But Hank Warren continues to have a great ball game. His 2nd hit of the day, his 4th time on base.
One thing I've noticed from these Vaqueros is they're taking the ball opposite field a lot of the time. It feels like a majority of their hits have been pokes out to the opposite field, out to right field for righties or left field to lefties. So runners on first and third now with 1 out in the inning.
after what was a solid hit from Hank Warren, and Evan Janner stepping in now. Janner got on with a hit by pitch in the 5th inning. In one of his few starts this season here late in the year.
The Vaqueros have been very aggressive with their base running with runners on the corners, and so far it's resulted in 2 outs.
McCarty coming out here to have a conversation now with home plate umpire Cole Lump. Gonna see what's gonna happen here. We've talked about a couple of guys, a couple utility guys playing in the lineup for ACU right now. That's Ben Greer, Garrett Williams, Gino DeLessio, and Maddox Misi. Any of those guys can move to any other position they may need to. Seen that happen quite a few times this season. Conversation Coach McCarty now heading over to talk to third base umpire Jared Higdon. And now a conversation with Dash Albus on the mound.
Looks like there seems to be a disagreement with the lineup card.
Yeah.
Maybe an illegal substitution on accident or a miscommunication or something to that effect.
What might look like there's
a new batter.
There is a new batter. Looks like it kind of flew under the radar there for a minute.
New batter sporting the number 39.
I don't believe I have him on my stat sheet.
He isn't on the lineup card or the roster. But he's batting here for the Vaqueros. In a big spot, too.
Mystery batter here. We don't appear to have him in any of our records roster sheets. Rick McCarty coming back out now to have a conversation. Of course, sometimes there can be issues with uniforms, of course. Having a conversation here with Dash Albus. There will be a new pitcher that we'll have here in just a minute. So, new pitcher coming in after a bit of confusion here in Abilene, Texas. UTRGV leads 7-3. Stick with us. WAC baseball in Abilene, Texas, UTRGV and ACU. UTRGV leads 7-3. Once again, not the only WAC game going on here in the state of Texas or at all. The only other one going on right now, Sacramento State at UTA in Arlington. Sac State up 4-1 now, pardon me. UTA just got their first RBI, and there's a base hit from Aaron Staley. That one rolling far, far back. Staley coming in and slides. He will be safe. A good relay in center field from Evan Janner. Pardon me, there is a defensive substitute out there yet. We don't know yet who that was, but a good relay nevertheless gets the ball in time.
Wow, Aaron Staley just puts one in the gap for his second extra base hit of the day. And honestly, I thought he was dead to rights out there. A really good relay, cutting off the ball in the gap and getting it to second, but he had a great sort of swim move slide to avoid the tag. And he gets a leadoff double for the Wildcats, getting some energy injected in this lineup.
Holden Rook stepping in now 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout. In center field, that is Damian Rodriguez. We'll have the left fielder after that strike right there. Adrian Torres is in left field. He's a normal starter, got the day off, now comes into the ball game after the pinch hitting situation in the top of the 7th inning, as that one is fouled back. It's 0-2. Once again, Rodriguez in center field, Torres in left. Staley's on second. He's got 2 extra base hits on the day. And the pitch is high and away for a ball to Holden Rook. Staley got that RBI triple all the way back. Offer there from Rook. That one's going to be called a ball. It's going to say he held at it. Staley had that triple back in the second RBI triple that was. Never came around and scored on that. Now he finds himself in scoring position again. And for Holden Rook with runners in scoring position, 222 average for him. He offers at that one and swings and misses. Another strikeout for Zach Chalman, the pitcher for the Vaqueros. He's done great today.
I think one of Chalman's best stats and one of the most effective stats is with runners on, the batting average against him is 208. So whenever he's in a tight spot, he really stands up on his head. 2 of the 3 runs today have come with no one on base, just back-to-back solo shots.
Chalman now 1 strikeout away from tying Connor Matson for the lead in the WAC. Of course, has 7 on the day here facing Miller Lattisaw. Lattisaw was the victim of a strikeout in the second, had a homer in the first, and singled in the 5th.
Now the umpire's having a discussion
They're
with Chalman.
clearing up the scoreboard right now. It's a 1-1 count. Scoreboard had it at 0-1. So a good call there by third base umpire Jared Higdon to communicate to Cole Lump that the press box needs to adjust that. 7 strikeouts on the day for Chalman. First time he's done that since that outing against Utah Tech on March 30th. Or pardon me, actually since Utah Valley on April 13th. He had 8 that day. And we're gonna have a moment here where Chalman will disengage the rubber.
And Chalman still has good stuff. He started the first inning, fastball sitting around 91. And he's still sticking around 91. As here, Lattisaw, it looks like he has something in his eye. He's digging around in his eye. Maybe he lost a contact?
Yeah, we're taking a look here. It could be something. The wind is pretty rough right now. It's blowing all over the place, blowing in towards home plate.
Ooh, a lot of trust in the third base coach right there.
Yeah.
That's a very vulnerable situation to put yourself in, Miller Lattisaw.
You know, and it's a hazard. It's a good call and a timeout there for Miller. That is a dangerous situation. You don't want to go up there blindly, obviously. You talked about Chalman throwing 91, 92. Can hurt if you're not seeing what's coming.
And also with only one eye, it really throws off your depth perception.
Absolutely. Outside for a ball there, and it's a 2-2 count now. Once again, talking about Chalman and that strikeout number. 5th time this season he's marked over 7 or more. Again, that high was 9 against Seattle U. That one bounces away. Throw over to third will not be in time. There's going to be no one there. Staley's going to get waved home. So that one bounces away, and then the poor throw over to third from Steven Lancia scores the run of Staley. Just a tough deal there. So Staley scores. That one chopped off on the right side. It's now 7-4 here. 3-run ball game. ACU has its first run since the 2nd inning. So nobody on now for Miller Lattisaw, who's working out of a 2-2 count. Pitch to Lattisaw, and Lattisaw grooves one up center field. Going back is Damian Rodriguez. He is there in time for the 2nd out of the inning.
Lattisaw lined that part up, but it was to the deepest part of the park.
Ben Greer stepping in now. Had a homer in the first, a single in the third, but flew out to the third baseman in the 5th inning.
That home run in the first inning, Greer's only his 2nd home run of the day in 31 games played, or of the year, sorry.
He's not known to be a power hitter, but he does have the power, of course. Oh, 1 count now to Greer's. He can't hold himself on that one, and it's an 0-2 count now. Chalman working through 6 2/3 right now. 7 strikeouts for him, working with that 0-2 count.
Chalman's sitting at 97 pitches, so got to think it's nearing the end of his day.
Greer pops that one to center field. Rodriguez, he's got quite a lot of work this inning, but Torres instead will be there to make the out. And not quite the 1-2-3 inning. The 1-run scores for ACU on a pass ball and an error. It's 7-4 in Abilene, Texas. Going back to Abilene, Texas, Blaine Palmer going to hang out on the mound for ACU for this inning. Through 2/3 for him, no runs, 2 strikeouts, 2 batters faced. This inning, we're going to see Easton Mumau, Martin Vasquez, and Steven Lancia. 7-4 now in the lead as ACU got that 1 run on the pass ball, then error. We wait now the pitch, the 0-2, the 0-1 that would be, and that one is on the ground and fielded by Ben Greer. He's going to scoop it over to first, and Garrett Williams is there for the first out of this inning.
3-run game. This game isn't over yet. The Vaqueros haven't scored since the 4th inning, and the Wildcats hadn't scored since the 2nd before last inning.
And you talk about it, ACU's bullpen has put in the work in this one. Caden Grenay, Dash Albus, and now Blaine Palmer. And in the past, I think a lot of people would agree that's something ACU was missing, was that bullpen presence in this season. Rick McCarty's been blessed to have that. Right now, he'd really like if his offense would get going in this ball game, but they haven't had too bad of a ball game either. Pitch there, and Vasquez fouls it off.
A lot of coaches think of a really good bullpen as a luxury, but it is, I think of it more as a requirement. You need those couple of arms you can go to shut down the game.
Pitch here from Palmer is popped up on the right side. Williams giving chase, going back further back. That one is foul. Very deep foul zones here at Crutcher Scott Field. If you've never seen it before, they go very deep and give a lot of opportunity for some chase, but that one drifted well and foul. Had some assists from the wind probably. 1-2 now the count to Martin Vasquez. Vasquez, 3 singles and a walk for him in this ball game. Scored once, 1 RBI for him as he shoots one out into center field. Going back in there to make the catch is Reese Boro, and Reese Borho is there for the out. 2 quick outs now.
Reese Borho is a good defender out there in center. He's quick and he covers a lot of ground.
Yeah, and he's gotten some work in right, but here he is in center, and he's looked great in this ball game. Here in the top of the 8th. Steven Lancia stepping in now, the catcher. Gets the strike there. Lancia in this ball game 0 for 1. 2 sac flies and a walk for him. 4 plate appearances, or at bats, that one going back. And in time to make the catch is Miller Ladisaw on the run. A pretty catch for Miller in left field. 1, 2, 3 they go. I believe that's first 3 in a row inning we've had in Abilene. As you see the clouds threatening behind, we're going to bottom of the 8th, pardon me, on ESPN+. 7-4 final lines for UTRGV. 7 runs on 12 hits, 2 errors, 9 men left on base. For ACU, 4 runs, 10 hits, no errors, and 4 left on base. And Trey, it was an exciting ball game. The score may be a little bit higher than it appears to be exciting, but great starts from a great pitcher, and then a good offensive performance for the Vaqueros.
Yes, a really quality start out of Chalman today. 3 earned runs, 4 runs on 7 innings pitched with 99 pitches. A great start from him. He's got to be the player of the game for the Vaqueros.
So a lot of thunder in this game, but no lightning in the 9th. UTRGV went 7-4. Thanks to everyone, the ACUTV crew. We'll see you next time.